Let's get to the full and narrated chapter of One Piece 1118. After the intro, hello everyone, welcome to the channel, and before we dive into the content of this video, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell so you don't miss anything, and let's get to the content. Chapter cover, Onichi Yamato's Substitute Pilgrimage of the Golden Harvest, Voller 8, Departure. On the cover, we see Yamato walking calmly, licking her lips while eating something. She is finally setting off on her journey in Wano. Chapter 1118, titled Be Free. Page 2. Initial note, Great Panic. The chapter begins with sailors. One is running, others are looking at the mast in panic because something giant seems about to fall on them. A sailor says, "Wah!" Another sailor says, "Jump into the sea! What is this living, walking steel? The ship is going to sink!" They say this because we see that the giant robot that just took a headbutt from Gorosei Warcury is falling very close to them. We see in the other frames the boats rocking a lot while the robot sinks into the sea. We can also see a Denden Mushi, yes, the one that was inside the robot, Vegapunk's transmission Denden Mushi. We hear static in Vegapunk's transmission, shh, shh. Then one last phrase, this name is shh, more static. Page 3, while the robot is sinking, we see text balloons. Joy Boy, where did you go? I want to see you. You are here, aren't you, Joy Boy? It's strange. It's strange. We see in another frame the gigantic Warcury and the boats rocking in front of him. Sailors say, but what is this? A boar? A mammoth? What the hell is happening here in Egghead? Page 4. Then we see more reactions, now showing that Vegapunk went off the transmission with static and blurred on people's screens. Civilians say, some kind of turbulence? He was still saying something. Other civilians say, what kind of situation is happening there that interrupted the transmission? And what the hell was that about Vegapunk being dead? Other civilians say, was it a murder? Another says, he mentioned something about a sin. Another civilian says to think he could be assassinated by the government. Another says, well, before that it was said that he was a hostage of Straw Hat Luffy. Another civilian says, obviously the pirates are the bad guys here. Another says, regardless of what sin he committed, there's no way the government would just eliminate the world's smartest man. Then in Dressrosa, Leo says, maybe it was really Luffy Land's doing? Rebecca says emphatically, clenching her teeth, no. Page 5, we return to Egghead and now we see York. She is still very relieved. The Gorosei say, York? York then says, huh? What? The Gorosei say, how many Vegapunks are alive right now? York replies, Vegapunks. Me and those who can access the Punk records. There are 2 more. We see the image of Lilith Punk 02 and Atlas Punk 05 in York's mind. York continues, Lilith is on the same floor as me, Atlas is on the northeast coast. A Gorosei says, should we eliminate them all? Another Gorosei says, yes. The Punk records were designed to continue growing, even now that Stella is dead. Another Gorosei says, only York's growth has advantages for us. There is no need for the other geniuses. We then see in the last frame of this page, Mercury, Mars in the sky, and Saturn. Page 6. Returning to the naval battle between the Elbaf ship and the sailors, we see the Giants' ship surrounded and still many explosions. Sailors say, ah! Giants say, raise the anchor, we are in retreat. Dory and Brogy say together, right. Let's jump aboard. We see them and Luffy in the center jumping into the Elbaf ship. Giants say, bosses. We are happy you are well. Brogy says, you bet. Gababa. Luffy says, hey, we see a small frame of a happy Bonnie responding, Luffy. We see Luffy smiling with both arms raised as he lands on the Elbaf ship. He's in the center with Dory and Brogy smiling. In the background, we see Sanji and Frankie. Luffy says, this is the Giant's ship. It's so big. Usopp is here. Where's Chopper? In the next frame, we see 2 girls and a small robotic giraffe. Sailors say, damn, after them. Another sailor says, don't let them escape. We have so many warships at our disposal. Another sailor says, the Giants are too difficult to deal with, but most importantly, are you okay? Sailors say, Vice Admiral Dahl. Dahl, now a little girl, says, damn you, Bonnie. Another sailor says, Vice Admiral Bluegrass. Bluegrass, this impotence is frustrating. What an absurd ability. On the next page, we see Bonnie in the lead. She is in her adult form and smiling. Bonnie says, letting me escape will mean trouble for you sailors, won't it? Oimo says, Igyagyagya. You took quite a beating, huh, Kashi? Sanji, with his hand on the transmitter in his ear, says, this is Sanji. We've left our side, Nami-san. What's the situation up there? While Luffy is jumping on Kashi to hug him, and Kashi is badly injured on the ground. Luffy says excitedly, Oimo, Kashi. We then see Nami. She responds to Sanji's question. We'll set sail soon too. Oimo says, Straw Hat, we missed you. Nami says, thanks to Edison, we'll somehow reach the sea, but if we can't land safely in the water, we're counting on you to save us somehow. Sanji says, of course, but only Nami-san, Robin-chan, and Lilith-chan. Even if the rest sink, I will save you three. A small frame with an angry Usopp says, hey, save all of us. Frankie says, I'll save the ship. Usopp, again angry, says, save us too. Giants, something is approaching the island. Then, in the last frame of this page, we see a bird approaching the Giants' ship. Page 9. We then see that who is approaching is Marcus Mars. Sanji says, it's one of the Gorosei. Of course they would come after us. We see Bonnie in the background of this frame. A giant chef says, oh, hey, you're Straw Hat Luffy, aren't you? He says this because in the frame, Luffy is devouring all the food he sees, especially a giant piece of meat. The giant chef says, the bosses told me he eats a lot, so make sure to cook plenty. I was going to bring this food out. Luffy says, my bad, I really need to eat now. Please make more. Giant chef says, go gyagya. You really do eat a lot. Then in the next frame, we see Mars releasing a blast of fire from his mouth. The giants raise their shields, blocking the power. They say, protect the little humans. Another giant says, that's hot! Page 10. On the next page, we see that the front of the giant's ship is starting to catch fire. The giants shout, ah! Another giant says, are you all right? Jorn? Sieg. Another giant says, put out the flames. Another says, get water. Don't let the fire burn the sails. Then some sailors, surprised by what is happening, say, ha! What is that strange bird? In the next frame, we see Sanji, Atlas, Vegapunk's body, and Kuma leaning against the corner while two giants fall to the ground. Sanji says, we owe you one. You saved us, giants. A giant says, hot. Bonnie says, I'll move Father and Vegapunk. They'll get burned. Atlas says, I'll take care of that. Brogy says, so they really won't ignore us, those damn monsters. Dory says, one of them can fly. He will hunt us wherever we go. Mars from the sky looking at the ship says, none of you will escape, not a single one. Frankie says, Page 11. The scene gets complicated, with the Elbaf ship in the center and many Navy ships surrounding it, as well as Mars in the sky. Waves start getting heavier. Sailors say as the sea seems to get rougher, what is this, an earthquake? Then we see Luffy, already in his Gear 5 form. He says, all right. My stomach is full now. Here I go, come get me. We see a close-up on Mars's eye, while sailors say, don't tell me this is... We just heard about this. Other sailors say, the sea level is rising. This is bad. Luffy then says, Bonnie. Bonnie says, wow, Nika. Luffy says, as I said, who are you talking about? To the sound of the drums of liberation, Dory says, hey, that's the rhythm of a party. Brogy says, idiot, don't start dancing. We have to put out the flames. Luffy then says, come on, you want to kick their asses, right? Bonnie says, that's impossible for me, because this form is... Luffy then says, I don't understand how your power works, but I feel like you can do it. We see a quick flashback when Luffy told Bonnie, this is my form when I become free. Distorted future, a future where... Final page, beautiful double 12 and 13. First, we see a frame showing Kuma, now as if he is watching his daughter transform. In another frame, we see the cross from Kuma's church. I don't know if these are Kuma's memories now. Flashback, Kuma saying to Ginny, rest in peace, I raised this child. Bonnie says, I am the most free. Then we see giant Bonnie, just like Luffy, in a superhero pose flying. Luffy, in his Gear 5 form, with his hand on his face laughing, says, ha! Well done, Bonnie. Sailors, what the hell are those? Bonnie says, I did it. Giants say, wow, there are two Nikas. Sailors say, white giants? Luffy then, with a smile on his face, says, let's do this. Bonnie replies, yes. The Gorosei, with worried looks, say, a strange presence. We need to hurry. Then, from the depths of the sea, we see the ancient Iron Giant. He says he is here. End of chapter 1118. Final note, the two warriors are about to rage. No break next week. That's it, folks. This is chapter 1118, Narrated. If you liked the video, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell. See you next time, and thanks.